No. You see, Batman will break some bones. Superman will toss you in iron heights.
No.
But the Flash...
We see a group of lesser-known villains playing cards and talking about which city is the worst place for villains to be. One of them says that Coast City, the city where Green Lantern Hal Jordan lives, is actually pretty good because most of the time the Green Lanterns aren't there, since they are usually busy saving the galaxy. He also adds that Hub City, probably the only city in the DC universe with even more crime and corruption than Gotham, is pretty good too, because the heroes there aren't very strong and are more focused on organized crime than on theft. But while they talk, one of the villains says that he heard Central City, the city where the Flash lives, is pretty tough, though he thinks that's probably a lie. That's when the others look at him like he's crazy and begin to explain why Central City and the Flash are a nightmare for villains.
You ever wondered why none of the other criminals come to Central City? The Lex Luthors, the weirdos from Gotham? Because one time, the Joker thought Central City would be an easy target. He had all his Joker venom lined up, ready to go. The gas had just started flowing when the Scarlet Speedster showed up. He blew the Clown Prince of Crime back toward Gotham, never to return. Scariest villain on the planet, and he knew that Central City is a no-go.
Then another villain interrupts him and says that this isn't even the worst example. She explains how one time a villain decided to rob a bank, but before he could even finish his speech, the Flash grabbed him and dropped him in the middle of the desert, and it took him almost a year to find his way back home.
Come on.
And have you ever run into his kids?
Oh, don't get me started.
The villain tells him about a time when the Flash's kid, known as Surge, lifted a giant and tossed him like a skipping stone. He also explains how the Flash's daughter punched a guy 90 times before he could react, and then gave him a wedgie simply because she thought it was funny. He adds that Central City now has so many speedsters that there's really nothing you can do there without getting destroyed. Then the woman tells him a story about how once a strong wizard from another planet decided to visit the city. She says that while he was walking through it, he saw a little girl sticking her tongue out.
So Mordru, who obviously has some self-confidence issues, takes this kid's sucker right out of her hand. But down the street, he sees him, the Flash.
The Flash starts waving his fingers, but this time when he tries to catch him, the wizard teleports to another dimension. There, he begins to smile, thinking how easy it was to escape from Flash, but when he looks up, he sees the Flash already waiting for him. The Flash tries to catch him, but he teleports away again, and again, and again. And this keeps happening until...
Finally, he appears at the end of the universe. The place where time ends and reality is being made.
When the wizard looks up, he sees the Flash standing there. He realizes that the Flash chased him across time and space just to get the little girl's lollipop back, so he hands it over without a fight. And after that, the woman says the wizard was never the same again. The man interrupts and says that this can't be true, explaining that the Flash's villains, the Rogues, still manage to operate in Central City. Another guy simply says that it is true, but that it only proves how crazy they are. Then another villain adds that there's nothing worse than hearing the Flash talk about how a villain can change his ways and become good, but that's when the guy accuses the others of making these stories up and says that he just robbed a bank right next to the Flash's museum. That's when the others all look at him in silence and...
Maybe we can get out before...
It's him.
We're too late. You people are wild.
The villain then opens the door, calling the others paranoid, and when he looks up, he sees the Flash standing there, asking the villains if they can have a little chat.